Welcome to License to Skill, hosted by the Other Side podcast. This week, we'll be continuing with our series on networking, and today's episode in specific will focus on content creation and engagement. Our guest for this week is Kamalika, who's quite well known and popular on LinkedIn for her well worded and evocative content. And Kamalika is a graduate of SSN College of Engineering as well as MDI, and she's currently working at Axis Bank. It's a pleasure to have you, Kamalika. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for hosting me, Ranjani. Really excited for this.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I want to ask you a really basic question about LinkedIn, which is a lot of people think that good networking is synonymous with just making connections. So, where I want your inputs here is what role does content play in networking?
So, the thing is, the human brain cannot remember people more than 50, like more than 50 people, you're not going to be able to connect to them personally. That's the limitation that our brains have. So, if you're going to have like connections of 30,000 or whatever, you are not going to be able to use your network effectively. So, in that case, how do you make sure that those 30,000 odd people remember you and you remember whom to reach out to in case you have some question or a doubt or you want some help in general? That is where content comes into play. So, if you have like suppose like I, for example, write on like a wide array of subjects. I've tried writing on economics, I've tried writing on tech, and through my content, I've identified people who make solid points, who give me like amazing pointers and amazing directions for my for the thought process that I had. So that has really helped me connect to them. And I know that if I have a doubt tomorrow on say finance related stuff or for some technology related stuff, I know whom to approach. So that way, when you want to find the right people, their content does come into picture. So just having numbers does not help. Content does definitely get you there where you want to be.
Right. So, it's all about finding the right people, right? So, in that sense, how do you think content on LinkedIn is different from content on other social media platforms, say Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram?
So for me, Twitter has been like the playground for all bullies. So you put out content and you know you're going to get pledged over there. So if you have the appetite for it, that's Twitter for you. Instagram is, I'm not much on Instagram, but the little that I used to just see too much of promotional stuff going on. So Instagram for me was like an influencer network to sell products. Same with Facebook, you could say. LinkedIn to me was something of, people actually debated stuff that was happening around them. It was, of course, there are nowadays a lot of these promotional stuff that are coming in, but more than that, it is about people who've either, experienced something in their lives and they're sharing that with you and you can take a lesson from that. Or there are people who are subject matter experts in particular areas and you can benefit from their expertise. Or there are people who are in general, great mentors to have in your life. So that LinkedIn content for me and how that's different from the different platforms that are available.
Right.
I guess that would be the value that I see in the content on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so now on LinkedIn, you have like a really large and diverse set of followers of at least 20,000 people, if I'm not wrong. So, how do you muster that confidence and overcome your inhibitions to share whatever's on your mind with so many people?
So when I started writing on LinkedIn, uh, I used to, just share probably whatever I understood from a particular news article and just write like that and see what happens. And I noticed that people come back and add their own perspective to it. So I realized that this is just like a better example of class participation that we had in MBA. So that way for me, I realized that I can actually learn a lot more on these posts of mine. And if you see most of my posts, they end in an open-ended way. Like I have an opinion, but I'm not really fixed on that opinion. I'm open to change. Like for example, if you see I'd written like 2 months back about Netflix and when they had decided that they're going to give up all their non-active users. So I had posted about how that could actually be because storing that data, it does not make sense. To which one of the people on LinkedIn, Pratyush and Hitanshu Gandhi, both of them had come back and said, it does not cost Netflix anything at all to, store that data. The incremental cost is literally near zero. So that was a new learning for me. And that is what probably, I know that I'm going to be wrong 99% of the time, but I'm happy to be wrong if I can learn something new in those instances. So
Right.
that's probably why I'm not afraid to voice my view on LinkedIn.
That was your content journey. So, what would your advice be to people who are beginning their content journey, for people who haven't yet started posting content but would like to? So, where should someone start?
I would say that all of us have, a different background, a different journey, different set of experiences, and everything that makes us unique. Like that, our opinions are our own. That's what makes us. So do not be afraid of posting your content out there just because someone might have a different opinion, or someone might disagree with you or something like that. Be open to the fact that you may be wrong, and it's human to err, so it's okay. So that would probably be my advice, that it's okay if you're wrong. It's okay if someone disagrees with you in public. I know a lot of people have that apprehension, but just think of it as a way to learn more, and not as, oh, he's disagreeing with me, or she's just being rude to me because she does not agree with my views. So that would be my what I would tell people who are starting out.
Yeah. And speaking of learning more, the kind of topics that you cover on your content is very wide ranging and diverse. For instance, you've talked about tax reforms, you've talked about plagiarism, and even the national education policy. So, what is your creative process? Where do you get your inspiration from?
I read a lot. I'll admit, I think I spend, so I wake up in the morning. The first 2 hours of my day is spent reading something. It's either a book or a blog or something like that. And then throughout the day, when I'm taking like a tea break or having lunch or something like that, I again try to read news articles and stuff like that. So most of my opinions, thoughts are formed from the books that I've read, the current affairs that are going on, and then my own, reinforced beliefs and all that. So that is probably how I go about doing things, and that's why most of the time my content is also something that surrounding something that's happening around us at the moment. So that is probably how I go about doing things.
Right. And coming back to a previous point that you'd made, you leave most of your content in a very open-ended sense. You leave space for debate and engagement for your followers and connections. So, how does this contribute to your networking process rather than just stating an opinion and leaving it at that?
I've made some really great friends, I would say, because of that. So I remember once, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something completely against the government. And there was this colonel on LinkedIn who obviously was very pro-government, and he and I started having this debate. But it was quite a heated argument, I'll agree. And at the end of it, I realized that, his points, my points, even though they were different, they were not wrong. So then I reached out to him, messaged him, and told him that I hope there are no hard feelings. It's just that this is what I believe, and I understand where you're coming from. And that led to like a great. So it turned out that he was the chairperson for the Army Institute of Management, and he's even invited me to give a talk in one of his classroom sessions. So that way I've learned, one, that to be humble despite reaching that this thing is something that everyone values. Two, I've also learned that you never know where the next opportunity is. I never thought I'll be doing public speaking or something like that, but thanks to him, I am. So that's something that I've had a good experience with LinkedIn. Of course, not all experiences are so good, but this is like one of the things that I kind of cherish. So I treat him like a mentor of mine. Every time even though he's from an army background, not from a corporate background, there are lots of times when you're facing some life dilemma or something that you're not sure if you want to do it or not. So I go up to him and he gives me very paternal but very grounded advice. So I've over the course of the years I've had like different sorts of mentors that I can reach out to. So that's one of the best things for me.
Mm. And taking off from what you said about bad experiences, has there ever been some kind of content that hasn't been received well, and how did you handle it?
A lot of times actually. I think I don't know why, but I have like a very opinionated, and I always rub people the wrong way. I don't know why I do that or how I do that, but yeah, that happens. So a lot of the times people have mailed me and said that, oh, you do not deserve to be, or what was that, I don't remember what I said, but there was a lady who said, you work for Axis Bank was a part of UTI also has branches in Pakistan, so you're Pakistan. I'm like, what? Don't. So that sort of things has happened to me, and this is all in the message, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what I said that was that offensive. So generally I just brush it off, but when they get too much on my nerves, I just tend to report them. I'm like, oh, this is like, I cannot handle this anymore. So, okay.
Yeah, coming to one of my final questions. So content is more than just about creating content, right? It's also about engaging. So how far do you think comments, likes, and so on go in contributing to your network expansion?
Um, okay, that's an interesting question. So, for me, engagement is more about the one-on-one conversations that I have on my thread. So I measure it that way, like how many people have given me a completely different, like suppose I was for X and someone else is against X. Have I been able to, understand their point of view better? So that for me was more of engagement. Or if there were only two options or someone else come up with a third option or something like that. So to me, that is what counts more in terms of how it helped me expand my network. I think this is like a little weird for me to also say it out loud. Like I probably have only like 10,000 odd connections, like first degree connections, but I have somewhere around 20 or 20,000 odd followers. So that way to me, and I don't understand why. Like I genuinely cannot understand what's happening there. So for me, connection is quite limited, but yes, it does end up reaching a wider audience. Whether they like it or whether they're just following me to diss me, I do not know that. So yeah.
Yeah, and coming to my final question, how should we engage with other people's content? What's your advice on going about and sharing your opinions on a public platform like LinkedIn, which is also professional?
So the first thing obviously would be courteous. Like a lot of people miss this out. If you have a disagreeing view, it's okay to have a disagreeing view, but do not say no, you're wrong. Like that is, it really pisses people off. So start off by saying, okay, I get where you're coming from, but I have a different opinion. It's something that's a little more polished than saying, no, this can't happen. So that is the first and foremost thing. And also remember that LinkedIn is something that increasingly a lot of recruiters are using to profile you. So if they see that you're brash, you're aggressive, you don't get along with people, you just post inflammatory stuff, it's going to somewhere or the other go against you. These are like the red alerts that HRs have in terms of, okay, this person cannot be a good fitment for our company. So that is another thing that you have to agree. I see a lot of people posting a lot of inflammatory stuff for I don't know what reason. Like recently, there was a person who said that I want my wife to have these skills. Like quite sexist. I do not know why you would want to put out such content, especially at such time. So you need to be very careful of that as well. It's good to have an opinion, but try your level best to not offend people directly like that.
Yeah.
And so typically when you engage with content, it's at two sides. You either totally agree with the person and you want to add on to them, or you disagree and you have a different viewpoint. So when you agree with them, it's always great to give them a kudos starting off, so that it basically gives them a ego boost. And who does not like someone who's being nice to you? So start off by thanking them for their views or telling them that yes, this is something that I appreciate, and then adding on to it. Try engaging more with what they are saying as well. Like suppose they're trying to add something, and this goes even if you are against them. So if they're giving you a different viewpoint, trying to substantiate it, try to look at it from where they are coming, because you never know, you might just learn something new that day. So
Yeah.
that would probably be the two ways that I approach it. And of course the third is, if you see some rubbish, just ignore it. So yeah, that's also there.
I think that's really valuable advice, and that brings us to the end of this interview, unfortunately. Thank you so much for joining us, Kamalika. I had a great time, and I'm sure our listeners will have a lot to take away from this.
Thank you so much, and all the best to all of you.
Yeah, thank you. So please tune in next week for yet another episode on License to Skill, where we'll be getting an expert on LinkedIn who'll be trading some trade secrets, hopefully. So stay tuned and see you on the other side.